Today on Inside Yellow Jacket Athletics, the Yellow Jacket football team goes perfect for the regular season. Our flag football team and their amazing year. The bowling team hit the lanes on Tuesday night. Cross country prepares for state. And wrestling starts preparing for the season. Now, let's roll that intro. Welcome back to Inside Yellow Jacket Athletics. I'm Skylar Brooks. Let's get caught up with everything happening at Oxford High School. The Oxford Yellow Jacket football team closes out its regular season this past Friday with a perfect 10-0 record by defeating Florence High School. We spoke with Coach Sam Adams about this victory and the upcoming game this Friday at Lamar Field.
It was a good way to cap off the regular season. The long travel to Florence, and that was by design. So if we have something like that in the playoffs where we have to make a trip like that, we've experienced that before. And it was against a good team. Florence was a number 3 seed, 7A playoff team. And, I thought we played really well, especially on the defensive side. We allowed negative rushing yards for the game, which is always obviously a positive thing. And then offensively, I thought we played really well in spurts. We did turn the ball over twice, one of which kind of had a ball security issue, and the other one was, we didn't protect the quarterback exactly right within the protection. And then, we had a few penalties on special teams that, extended drives for those guys. So that was a good win overall, but we still haven't played our best game, and, hopefully we can fix those little issues that we had moving forward.
Moving forward, hosting the first round of state playoffs versus Buckhorn. What's your impressions going into this game, but what is it going to take to sit here and move forward into the playoffs?
Yeah, they're a much improved team from where they were earlier in the season. They finished up with 3 straight wins, so that gives them a confidence boost moving into the playoffs. They've played a couple different kids at quarterback, one of which was a younger one. So, anytime you play a young quarterback, it can take a little longer than some teams would like to start seeing the positive results from that. But I think that's just part of them getting better as the season has gone on. And, this time of year, no matter who the opponent is, you can expect a really intense game because everybody's fighting for the same championship, and everybody's fighting to get to another Monday practice and another Tuesday practice. And I know we'll have to play well in this game, and just like we will in every game that could be in the future if we're fortunate enough to still be alive next week.
You talked about this past week with consistency. You had a lot of consistency, both offensively and defensively. How important is that consistency going forward, and especially some consistency from these young players? Yeah,
it's a mix of guys. At one point, maybe early last week, I was talking to some about the playoffs, and I said, well, we got a lot of guys that know what it's like to be in playoff games, and I started kind of going through the lineups, and we do have a lot of guys that have been in playoff games. We also got a lot of guys who've never really been a part of that on a 6A Friday night in November. And it's different. The magnitude of the game's different. The seniors on the other side are fighting for one more week just like yours are. And so every version of the team, of the opponent, will be a little bit better in the playoffs than what you saw on film during the week leading up to it. And in games, in situations like this, there's no room for any kind of letdown. Fortunately, with the schedule that we played in the regular season, we didn't design that schedule with 10-0 in mind. We designed it to expose our guys to as much as possible so that we can be playing our best come this time of year. And hopefully those experiences throughout the year will pay off. In addition to those veteran guys, the experience they've had over the previous 3 years will pay off, and the experience will help us throughout the playoffs.
What's one thing you would say to the fans and the people here in Oxford, but also the student body, about Friday night?
Number one, the frustrating thing for me so far this week, we've had a lot of bracket watching going on. So people talking about a possible second-round matchup, third-round matchup, semifinal matchup, and I don't want to hear nothing about that. It's a one-game season right now. We're 0-0 just like our opponent is. And so we got to keep that kind of mentality. I mean, we're trying to win one game a week without looking forward, without celebrating anything that's happened in the past. I mean, it's all about just this week and playing Buckhorn. And, we're fortunate to be in the spot on the bracket that we are in, that we get to host the first round home game. And Buckhorn needs to know when you come in to play at Oxford that it's a different kind of atmosphere than they've played in all year long. And I hope our people understand, our students, our fans, that if they choose to, they can play a part in the game. We need them to be present, as they always have been, but we need them to go past being present and watching the game and being a part of the game, being vocal and being loud and letting our guys know that they're supported by their home crowd. And if we're fortunate enough to come away with this one, then we'll ask the same of them next week if we're fortunate enough to get to play at home. But we don't know. At this point, we're just focused on winning one game, and we need our crowd to be a big part of that.
Thanks, Coach Adams. The Yellow Jackets will host Buckhorn High School this Friday night at Lamar Field in the first round of the 6A state playoffs. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. We encourage everyone in Oxford, and especially our student body, to show up and show out and make this night one to remember. Flag football finishes up their regular season by defeating Pell City in a close loss to Vestavia, but the ladies came up short against Prattville in the first round.
Hi, I'm Caden Bice, and I'm here with Coach Brooks, and we're going to ask you a few questions about the flag football season, some of the seniors, and the forward outlook of maybe next season. So, who do you think was really, just your key senior or a leader on the team this year that could have projected more energy and teamwork through games?
Ayanna Hemmings, she was always there. She was injured for most of the season, but her support and being able to rally the troops to get them to kind of move forward in the right direction. Erilyn Poole was a really good receiver. The Howell sisters, came along and played great on defense, and Audrey Saxon was a big contributing factor. I think she got her first start of the year this year, maybe against Pell City, and she started 2 or 3 games. So really going to miss all those girls next year. We had 7 seniors total. Got a good nucleus of girls that's going to return. The legacy that they have left and that they have been able to leave for the 5th and 6th grade girls that are looking forward to us is going to pay huge dividends down the road. The conversation I have with them when they join flag football in the 9th grade is leave the jersey in a better place than it was when you got here, and I think all 7 seniors are going to be able to pass that jersey on in much better shape than it was 4 years ago, with the leadership, the energy, the effort, the hustle, and the toughness that they displayed. And even though their smiles will be missed in the hallways, in the locker room, in the weight room, their hard work and dedication and determination and competitive spirit will live on here forever at Oxford High School.
Now, again, all season, me calling a few games, getting to see that in person, just the team chemistry, and it kind of just correlated to how they played on the field, especially with the explosive offense. The games I commentated, it was pretty much shut down defense. How do you think that kind of came together as a team?
It was good. So last night we got down 12-0 in the first half, and we were able to score a touchdown late in the first half. And then we actually tied it up in the second half. So to be able to overcome that adversity and power through some of that and come back, and we actually intercepted a ball down by 6 with 4 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So we gave us a chance, and that's all you can ask for. The scoreboard lies. You can play good and win, you can play bad and win, you can play good and lose, you can play bad and lose. But at the end of the night, regardless of what sport it is, you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I gave it 100%, left it all out on the field. And that's all we can ask for as coaches, and it gives our team and all of our athletes here at Oxford High School an opportunity when the game's on the line to be, able to be a score or two, able to be able to win that game. And unfortunately, only one team out of 64 is going to win the state championship each and every year. So we as coaches try to teach these girls in 4 years that they can carry, boys and girls, that can carry on for the rest of their life for the next 60 years. And that's kind of the goal for as a coach. You spend 4 years with these kids. What can we teach them in those 4 years that they can be better husbands, fathers, and bosses, or better wives, ladies, teachers, bosses as well on the female side? So.
Now, I know it's a little early to ask this, but what are you looking for, and what's your season outlook for next season?
Well, I always tell everybody in football you got to have a quarterback, in basketball you got to have a point guard, in baseball you got to have pitchers. And we got both of our quarterbacks are coming back next year. We had a lot of girls step up, like Nakia Roy last night had 2 interceptions, and last year she was a non-starter. So she stepped up big, and she's going to be back next year. So we got a good nucleus coming back next year. This year is kind of the first year they're actually doing like all-state, North-South all-star game. So you'll see in the next coming weeks that some of our girls might be nominated to do that. Our coaches, Scott Mims and Anna Webb. I'm the head coach on paper. But a lot of times throughout the year, I felt like I was their assistant coaches. I was their assistant coach because they just done such a great job with their players, Anna with the rushers and the snappers on offense and defense, and Scott did an outstanding job with his background of 7-on-7 football and obviously coaching and calling the offense on middle school football. And the Mims is a great football family here in our state. So. I was just blessed to be around those guys, and then the support of the fans and you guys and the students. I just think it's going to continue to grow and get better, and who knows, we might have a professional female flag football team down the road. So.
That'd be really cool. Well, all right, thank you for letting us get this interview with you, and go Big Go.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yep.
The Yellow Jacket flag football team wants to thank everyone for their support this season. Here at Oxford High School, we definitely look after our own. For this week's edition of Oxford Overtime, we want to give everyone an update on our very own Dean Thompson. A sophomore football player for the Yellow Jackets has been battling cancer for the last year. He underwent a bone marrow transplant last week. Things went great and he is resting. We hope to catch up with Dean very soon. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and remember, stay strong, Dean. The Yellow Jackets cross-country team competed last week in the state sectionals in Scottsboro. Here's Tay Jansen with some quick highlights.
6 points was Pell City, and you're Let's go, Emerson! For high school, Emerson, Minnesota. From Oxford, Case Payne. 4th place from Fort Payne.
Cross country will be competing this weekend at the state meet in North Alabama. Good luck to all of our runners. It's time to hit the mats for the Yellow Jacket wrestling team. We caught up with Coach Mayfield to talk about the upcoming season.
It's wrestling season. We're already in the gym. It's time to kick it off. Just talk a little bit about what's going on.
We're just now getting started with practice. We got a lot of kids out here, a lot of new kids. A lot of young kids out, which is good for the future. We've got we got a few state placers coming back. Some of our football players, of course, they're still out on the field, and I hope they stay out there for a lot longer. Our first matches are coming up next couple of weeks. So we're still open for people wanting to sign up too. If you're looking to try it out, just come on down.
Thanks, Coach Mayfield. We will definitely have more on the wrestlers as the season continues. Our bowling team kicked off their season this past Tuesday night against Shades Valley. We talked to Coach Whitney McKibben about the match.
Coach McKibben, first night out for the bowling team versus Shades Valley. Just talk about tonight and how the team did.
For our first outing, I was very pleased with how they did tonight. The girls won against Shades Valley 937 to 542. The boys came up a little short, 857 to 801, but that was our first match of the season. But I've seen a lot of improvement over the last 2 weeks. So
who right now you say is probably your heavy bowlers that can get a lot of strikes and pick up a lot of spares during in game?
For the girls, it looks like Kylie Stevens. She bowled a 141 tonight in her traditional game, and Haley Pruitt bowled a 120. For the guys, Caden Gaskins bowled a 116 tonight, and Ethan Holsey bowled a 97.
The bowling team will be back in action at the Big Time Entertainment next Tuesday. Please come out and support the team. Before we get out of here, we want to give everyone an update on the scores and action from this past week. We want to remind everyone to follow and share on all of our social media platforms, and that you can catch all regular season events on OHS Jacket Media app on YouTube. That's all for today, so be sure to tune in next week, and remember, go Big O!